of Crown Fairy Garden, 2 to 4 players build their deck and domain to help get their chosen princess on the throne. Japanime Games provided this in exchange for an honest review. This is a deck building game played in 2 parts. First, build your deck to gain enough coins to back a princess. After that, add succession points to your domain, which requires the support of the people. If your domain has 20 of these, you can crown your princess with a coronation. The left border shows one of the many types of cards in this game. The 6 main types are Princess, Territory, Action, Attack, Succession, and Calamity curses. Some cards have multiple main types shown by a slash or subtypes in parentheses. The market cost is in the top left. Activate card abilities when you play them. Many cards have a triangular link on the right and or bottom edge, allowing you to play additional cards. I'll explain this soon. Each player starts with a simple starting deck, 7 farming villages and 3 apprentice maids. Each turn is divided into phases. In the main phase, play 1 action or territory card from your hand to your field and resolve all effects on the card from top to bottom before playing any more cards. These are not optional. If you can resolve them, you must. Reach an impossible step, ignore all remaining effects. For each link symbol, you may play an additional card until you run out of cards or choose to stop. After you've backed a princess and created a domain of 1 to 3 territories, you may keep 1 card per territory to store them. Recall 1 or more of these cards back into your hand during a future turn. In the second phase, you may do one of 3 actions. Buy as many market cards from the market as you can afford using those cards you played earlier. Purchased cards go in your discard pile. You may instead spend 6 coins to back 1 princess. Take her card and place her in a special play area called your domain. You must move the 3 most valuable played territory cards to your domain. If you play fewer than 3, all are now your domain. I explained earlier how domains work. Once you have a princess and domain, you may play as many succession cards as you like on future turns to your domain. These push you towards a coronation ceremony. If you purchase new cards, you cannot play succession cards and vice versa. After the second phase, clean up by discarding remaining cards in your hand along with those in your field. Draw up to 5 cards and refresh the market if needed. The next player clockwise now goes. Once you declare a coronation ceremony, each other player has 1 last turn to try to reach 20 points. Any player that falls short is eliminated. Everyone else continues over time until someone reaches 30 succession points. That player's princess is immediately crowned. Build your deck, back your favorite princess, and get her the succession points needed to be crowned. That's Heart of Crown Fairy Garden. Once you know what you're doing, 3 people can play Heart of Crown Fairy Garden in 60 minutes, including setup and takedown. The game is fine with 4 people, but unless everyone is familiar with the cards and mechanisms, it can drag. Spoilers, I love it at 3. Cards are still scooped up on you, and you might be attacked. I'll talk more about this later, but it's more manageable, meaning more strategic. The central market is the size of a chessboard, and player areas can grow to the size of placemats. 2 might be able to play on a large coffee table, but dining tables are probably your best bet. There's quite a lot of reading, but if you stick to the simpler cards, grade 2 and 3 kids could handle it. The same goes for market math. The real trick is calculating everyone's succession points around the table, tracking how close someone may be to winning, and creating an engine to get your princess crowned. While kids 8 and up would be fine early on, I think kids 10 and up are better suited for the whole package. In our 5th game of Heart of Crown Fairy Garden, I bought card cycling and attack actions when available and cities in between. Mom was first to claim a princess, then Grandma. A turn or 2 later, I took Clam Clam, the Princess of the South Sea, who lowers the cost of cards by 1. Because I was generating 6 or 7 coins per turn, my engine was rolling. I had this one in the bag. Or so I thought. Dad put 10 or so succession points out in a single turn, and his spies started coming out at the right time, wrong for me, to make us all discard our senators and maids. Mom and Grandma made it close, and soon it was a tight race to 20. I got there first, then Dad, then Mum. Grandma fell 3 points shy, meaning she was out. Clam Clam's ability allowed me to get Fairy Queen Elrune in the first round of overtime, forcing Mom to lose a Duke and Dad to lose a Senator. Because my deck was so thin, she came right back out when I shuffled. Mom lost another Duke, Dad lost another Senator, and I won. Banishing crummy cards for the win. Literally. Heart of Crown Fairy Garden has gorgeous art and the look is both pretty and thematic. The attack cards are dark and dingy, the succession cards are proper, and so on. The graphic design is pretty good for the most part, especially the cost and succession points. Some icons are hard to see if they have a lot of text. Many cards have a lot of text. Too much, but players can pass around the randomizers to read what cards do on other people's turns. Oh, and if you're not careful, especially if you have small hands and seeing all of your cards is tough, you might only see the bottom of the Royal Maid and think it's one of your -2 apprentices. I wish the red outline on the minuses was thicker. The princesses are so pretty, and their abilities help each one feel unique. I think the stories on the back are a really nice touch. I love the link mechanism. Legendary Marvel is similar in that order of played cards matters. Some great cards break links, so plan ahead. Once you've finished the 8 setups in the rulebook, the randomizers give you a quick way to play differently. They also speed things up if you use them as a reference like I mentioned earlier. The random market system is super clever. Depending on how the cards come out, the market values change. If all 5 of one type come out at the start, you might not need to rush for those particular cards. The rulebook is a bit all over the place, but it's packed with examples and information. I think it's easier to find stuff here than Tokyo's Sidekick, which is also from Japanime Games. The game comes with dividers, so the box is really nice and organized. This helps with setup and takedown, which can take some time while you're still following the rulebook scenarios. There's also plenty of room in the box to add expansions if you decide you want more. There's blocking if people take the cards you want in, but it's the take that action cards that force you to discard from your hand or already played cards that may bother people. You can easily play without them though. Curse cards add too much randomness and not enough mitigation. Again, you can leave these out and not miss anything. There's more to Heart of Crown Fairy Garden than your typical deck builder, so it's not as easy to teach and learn as Paperback or Legendary, but I think it's well worth your time. If introducing new people, play one of the earlier scenarios from the back of the book to help players get a feel for the phases. Once everyone knows the game, it zips along in about an hour and is very rewarding and fun. It's one of the better deck builders I've played in a long time, and we're already looking into adding a handful of expansions. Whether you want an engine building strategy game with hand and resource management, or just love pretty princesses and fairies, check this out.